News 46 is brought to you in part by
Pawn Corp's international gold buyers are returning to Pahrump Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, June 19th through the 21st. We'll be at the Pahrump Nugget from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. Bring in your unwanted gold, silver, platinum, jewelry, diamonds, fine watches, coin collections, and broken jewelry. We have $1 million to spend, and we pay you in cash. That's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, June 19th through the 21st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Pahrump Nugget.
News 46 is brought to you by Southwest Medical Associates. Look for news about their latest healthcare center opening soon in your neighborhood. Southwest Medical Associates. Now that's powerful medicine. News 46 is also brought to you by Red Apple Fireworks. You've never seen anything like it. Nevada's elite fireworks shopping experience. Red Apple Fireworks.
Tonight on News 46, a teenager is transported with a gunshot wound.
And the town board meets tonight regarding the theme park proposal.
And a commissioner champions the defenseless Ishani Ridge homeowners. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Rick Vale and Rhonda Van Winkle. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell and news across Nevada with Janet Eric. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Tuesday, June 14th, 2011. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle for News 46. Topping our news tonight, deputies, detectives, and paramedics were dispatched to residents on the south side this afternoon for a report of a gunshot wound.
We're at a home on the corner of Quarter Horse and Savoy, where this afternoon around 1 p.m. Nye County Sheriff's deputies and Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue were alerted to a 15-year-old boy who had a gunshot wound to his thigh. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene and transported the boy to Desert View Hospital, where he may be airlifted to UMC Trauma Center. Nye County Sheriff's deputies and detectives arrived on scene here to conduct the investigation. One person was taken into custody here. We're not sure of what the charges are at this point. And one woman arrived on scene. Deputies are investigating. We'll keep you updated on the story. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 4.
The three-year battle continues with Utilities, Inc. We spoke to Nye County Commissioner Butch Boraski and the homeowners in Ishani Ridge who are still hauling in water after all these years awaiting some sort of settlement.
We're at Ishani Ridge, and you may know the problem here. The homeowners here do not have water to their homes that they purchased for over $100,000. We're going to speak to two of the residents, and Commissioner Butch Boraski is going to introduce you to them. These homeowners are still fighting with Utilities, Inc. and hope to get water to their homes.
I'm here today with Ishani Ridge with a horror story that's been going on for about 3 years now. To my right is Mr. Jim Riggs. To my left is Mr. Mel Pete. They've been battling with the Utilities, Inc. and the Public Utilities Commission for quite some time now to get their water and sewer hooked back up. And it was hooked up at one time, by the way. And then UICN disconnected it. And there's a war going on between UICN and Ishani Ridge. And they also have a lawsuit that I can't talk about. But the people here standing with me today, them and their families and the other families that live here, are suffering because a municipality won't allow them to have the service that's already been paid for by the developer. I believe some time ago $591,000 was paid for hookup fees, and that was supposed to cover for these folks to be able to have sewer and water. Well, I've been to 3 or 4 Public Utility Commission hearings myself. Mr. Riggs has initiated a couple of, you did a couple?
Yes, I did. I filed a complaint against the UICN back in April of last year, trying to get water and sewer connections hooked up to my residents. And as of this date, it still has not been completed. We've had numerous meetings and telephone conversations, and the Public Utility Commission has more or less directed these hearings and so on, but it has come to no conclusion at this time. It seems that every time we come almost to an agreement, the utility, UICN, comes up with additional requirements, stipulations, and so we go back to the drawing board. Now, this has happened at least 8 or 10 times, and this last go-around, we had an order from the commission that we were to have utilities, and the first step was for me, on my portion of the Shawnee Ridge, to pay for a camera to go down in the sewer line and inspect the line that would service my residence, which I did pay almost $1,700 to have this done. And then, lo and behold, UICN comes back and they want an additional inspection done. Now, the original inspection that was mandated in the order was completed, and they found no problems with the sewer line. Now, utilities wants an additional inspection because they state that just in case, there may be cracks or something in the sewer line, which never did show up in the camera inspection, they want this additional inspection to cost approximately $1,500. Now, and I'm stating right now that this is one more stall on the part of UICN. And as I state, this has been normal practice for the utility. And in my judgment, they have no intention of supplying water and service to a Shawnee Ridge at this point.
And we'll have more on this story in tomorrow night's newscast. And if you would like to see the extended interview, it will be available on our YouTube site. And coming up after the break, will Pahrump get a theme park? That's the question that everyone seems to be asking.
And we spoke to Commander Kirk Lippold, a candidate for Nevada's 2nd Congressional District.
We'll have all this and more right after the break. Please keep it here. Did you see that? The light.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Rick Vale and Rhonda Van Winkle. Local coverage from Deanna O'Donnell and news across Nevada with Janet Eric. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 46. The town board meets tonight, and one of the items on the agenda is, of course, the park proposal, the theme park proposal. And we spoke to Don Holbrook and Al Belliqui.
I think, you have to give the community, it's been very positive. I think that you have to give the town council credit for being willing to be transparent and to have this kind of an open town hall type meeting process where people can come in and get to know me, ask really good questions. There's no such thing as a bad question. I mean, there's been questions all over the board, and I can only be very factual and very honest about how I invest and answer those questions. But I think it's been a very positive process. I think for the most part, people have come away with a good feeling for how we go through this process, how we cause this to happen, what will come out of it because of it. It's going to raise the income for people who work here. It's going to create construction jobs and people back to work in a dignified way in the skilled trades industry. It's going to have a sustainable, ongoing economic opportunity for everybody. I felt very good support here. There's a lot of people with a lot of questions. I think that they need those questions to be answered. We've tried to do that. I always try and be transparent. My grandfather always told me if you don't lie, you don't have to worry about what you said. So all I can do is tell you what I believe to be factually true.
What do you think that the biggest concern is? The $150,000 that we're going to put in this, and they think that they're gambling, or?
They don't understand the public-private partnership understanding is in today, which is different. One of my most respected businessmen in the community said no one ever gave me any money to come to the community, and he's right, and I did it all on my own, and that's honorable, and we respect that, but that's not what's happening today. The economic environment that we're in has changed, and companies come in and are looking for the community, the public sector, to partner together with them to have a partnership. They could give things, it's an exchange, it's a trade-off. And by doing that, and that's really new to our community, and that's where a lot of the questions have been because they're not familiar with it, which is quite understandable, which is why these conversations we've been having is good, because it's given us the opportunity to explain that and then go forward, and then they say, oh, now I understand. Oh, now we know why it's $150,000. Oh, I could see why that has to be instituted. Oh, I could see this. And now it's an educational process, which is great.
Well, I think too, the other point I want to make is that because of their tourism fund that you have here, which I was unaware of until we came here, I mean, I don't really care how they pay for it. You have to look at it as an investment. We're going to require that the town get paid back for their investment before we step forward into the next phase of this thing with a real developer on this. So they've got these monies they've collected from visitors who've come here. This is for you to grow your visitor market. So I think it's a really appropriate use of these funds to look at ways to increase that economics of this whole situation. So it's not something that you're taking out of your actual local taxpayers' money. This is being paid by visitors to your market today, and it's for you to grow that visitor market. So I think it's a great, appropriate use of your funds. And it is an investment. It's not something you're going to spend and never get back.
So give me the bottom line. We're looking at a theme park. Is it an alien-based theme park? Is that what we're looking at? I've heard that a lot.
I'm going to let you go to answer that one.
Number one is we don't know what's going to work here yet. We have to figure out what's going to work here. I don't know what theme's going to work here. I don't know what scale or scope it's going to be. That's what this first initial step is what can I do to get people over the mountain from Vegas to spend money here? What would work here? Whether it's aliens, I don't care what it is. It could be anything. What I'm going to tell them is what I think the best thing to do is. That's going to get people to come over here and spend their money from the Vegas market, from Southern California, from the visitors that fly into Vegas.
I'm not sure which theme they should pick, you know. I don't know about aliens.
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to work.
Maybe if they were up near Nellis, you know, Air Force Base
something,
or something.
And you know what else Nye County's known for.
That's
but
right.
I don't think that would be too family
That would be a very interesting
friendly.
theme park, Rhonda. I don't know.
Well, kind of like Dollywood.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, to see the extended version of this interview regarding the theme park proposal, please visit our website or our YouTube page.
All right, and Commander Kirk S. Lippold is campaigning for office in Nevada's 2nd Congressional District. News 46's Alan Bigelow recently had the opportunity to speak with the commander about his stance on some of the issues that concern Nevadans.
You're running for office now, and your background is a strong military background with a huge amount of leadership. You know, the thing that comes to mind, of course, is the USS Cole, and you were the commander then.
Yes.
What leadership lessons from before, during, and even after the attack did you learn through that?
Those are the same lessons that I'd apply here in Nevada. First and foremost, it's integrity. When lives are at stake, you have to do what's right. And I believe that Nevada needs that. When you look at also the vision from the moment the attack occurred, leading forward for the next several hours into days, I had to have a vision of where I was going to take my ship and my crew. I have a vision for here in Nevada to go back to Washington should I be elected and exercise some of those same leadership traits and skills that I think right now are sorely lacking in Washington that I could bring to bear for the state of Nevada, for 2nd Congressional District and the state at large to make sure that folks back in Washington do what's necessary to get this country on the right course again.
Now you're a native Nevadan.
Not native. I was born in Utah, but moved here in 1970. Parents brought me here. I grew up in Carson City, Nevada, graduated from Carson High School, went to the Naval Academy, and thought I was going to do my 5 years and come home, but fate and destiny obviously took me in another direction for 26 years.
Your favorite part of growing up in Carson City would have been what?
Just the high desert and the people. I mean, it is a beautiful part of the country up there. You're 30 minutes from Reno, 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe, 30 minutes from the desert. You can't ask for any better location.
This particular district has kind of a north-south ambiance. And a lot of your competitors or the other people that want to get that job have said, you know, I'm strong for the north. Well, how does that play into this race?
I have to look at it in that I represent all of Nevada in my district, which essentially is everything from North Las Vegas all the way through the other 100,000 square miles in the state. I'm not going to worry about the redistricting plan right now, but I look at it as I need to reach out and represent the values, the principles, and ideals of my constituents. And it's not just going to be centered around Reno. It's not going to be centered around North Las Vegas. It is going to represent all those rural districts and what they stand for, from the mining interest to the farming interest to the land issues that we are facing out there. Those are the things that I want to make sure we look out for back in Washington. Because quite frankly, DC right now looks at Nevada with a 2,500-mile long screwdriver and owning 86% of the land, somewhat ignores us, and they have a sense of entitlement that I think needs to come to a stop.
Something that's just recently come back, not to bite us, but it's just resurfaced, of course, is Yucca Mountain. Our commissioners have been trying to get it continued. What is your position on Yucca Mountain? How do you feel about it?
I look at Yucca Mountain as just absolutely the golden opportunity for the state of Nevada. I will summarize it real quick. The Yucca Mountain facility should be opened. I believe that we should develop a reprocessing center there. I believe that we can open nuclear power plants out on the old Nevada test site. They don't need the amount of water that they need to. New technology is in there. They are safe and proven to be safe. And then I think we take the education system here in Nevada and develop it to a point where we become the nuclear center for excellence for the United States. We have to cut our dependence on polluting sources of energy. The reality is, while we can continue to develop alternative forms with sunlight, geothermal, all the other ones, including wind, the reality is there is only one backbone that you have for power. And when you look at it, you can use coal, natural gas, or nuclear energy. Why can't Nevada become the leader in that industry?
Well, if you would like to see part 2 of this interview, you can do so online at our website or on our YouTube page. And Commander Lippold will also be taking part in the candidate debate to be held at the Pahrump Nugget on Thursday, June 23rd. The debate will also air live right here on KPVM-TV.
And an update of information regarding the stabbing on Donner Street, which occurred on May 1st. David Cottrell, who lives in Washington, contacted KPVM recently. He states that he is the father of the stabbing victim, 22-year-old Antoinette Bell, and her sister, who was not involved in the attack, 14-year-old Priscilla. And he added that he has not had contact with his daughters in the past year, but is sad to hear about what has happened. He also wanted to add that he is in the process of gender reassignment surgery. If you would like to read his comments, you can do so on our Facebook page. That's an odd thing to add when you're talking about your daughters being stabbed.
Indeed.
Interesting. It sounds like another theme park of its own.
There's your theme, folks.
Okay.
Folks, Isaac Neri came from humble beginnings in Chihuahua, Mexico. The achievements that he has made so far in his young life are inspiring. We spoke to Isaac about his film, Iniciación, which was screened at High Desert Shorts International Film Festival.
The film is Iniciación. The title stands for initiation, and it suits the title because the story is about a boy getting initiated into a drug cartel.
And in what category?
Drama, yes.
How long is the film?
The film is about 14 minutes with the titles and everything, yes.
You're a camera operator. Do you star in the film too as well?
I do. I didn't star on the film, but I did do some of the camera works, and that's what I grew up with. I started in newscasting and then, worked my way up, and I'm also an editor. But yeah, I like to be behind the scenes more than actually in front of camera. I'm not really used to it.
We got you this time.
Definitely. But hey, I'm glad that you guys give me the time to be in front of camera. Thank you.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about how the film's doing in the at the film festivals.
So far, so good. This is actually my first film festival, which I'm really nervous about. I'm learning a lot so far. I got a good response from the people. It's my second film I've directed, short film, and I'm going to try to push it out there. My plan for further on now is to hit up the HBO Latino filmmaking in New York. I'm also going to hit up a film festival out in Oaxaca, Mexico. Since it's more of a Hispanic-driven, I'm going to try to push for those markets.
Where are you originally from?
I am from Chihuahua, Mexico. Chihuahua, yes.
Where do you live now?
I live here in Vegas. I grew up in Chihuahua for about all my childhood. Moved to the United States. Moved to Texas, actually, when I was 13. Went to middle school, high school. And then I decided to move to Vegas out here for the film program. And some friends were out here. And I feel it was a good move for me overall. Left my family behind.
What's your dreams for the future?
My dreams is to keep doing this, do what I love and hopefully make some money out of it, get recognized, and just be able to live off of this.
Well, you seem to be excelling from what you're telling me in the past career. What's some films that you're going to be making in the future?
Right now I'm doing a next short because I'm still very new to this. I want to polish more of my skills, so I'm doing a short with a local filmmaker here. His name's Jacob Blodgett. We will be shooting that in August. We start pre-production, as a matter of fact, like 2-3 weeks back. So we'll be doing this throughout the whole summer, and then August 14, we start our production and then go from there.
Do you have a website for people to look at your previous films and future upcoming things to keep track of?
Yeah, well, I have my YouTube page is Isaac Neri 123, or you can visit my Facebook, Isaac Neri. Just look me up.
Spell the Facebook, the name for the audience.
It's facebook.com/Isaac, ISAAC. Last name is Neri, Neri.
Wonderful. Thank you, Isaac, and good luck in the future. It's wonderful to meet you.
So is it getting hot in here, or is it just the temperature outside?
It's hot.
Are getting warm. We're getting a lot warm. We're getting really warm. We're going to see triple digits at least twice in the next 7 days.
Yay. Was it triple digits today?
Not quite. We're really close.
Because I was glowing while I was outside.
Well, we've definitely got triple digits literally right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We'll have your 7-day forecast right after the break.
46 weather is brought to you by your local dairy farmers. Dairy products are very important in maintaining a healthy body. For more information, you can visit their website at nevadadairycouncil.org.
Hey everyone, welcome back to News 46. I'm Rick Vale with your weather today. Clear skies out there, high 98 with a southwest wind up to 13 miles per hour. Our pressure on the barometer holding steady 30.01, UV index 9, very high today. Sunrise at 5:26 a.m. and a record high is 115 degrees back in 1940. Looking at tonight, it's going to be clear out there, a low of 74, winds out of the east-northeast up to 11 miles per hour. Sunset's going to be at 8:02 p.m. and a record low is 55 degrees back in 1943. Looking at tomorrow, our first triple-digit temperature of the year. Congratulations to us, 101 degrees for the high, with an overnight low of 75. Winds out of the southwest up to 9 mile per hour, with gusts up to 25 miles per hour. The UV index for tomorrow is 9, very high, and sunrise will be at 5:26 a.m. Looking at our 7-day forecast Thursday, 38 mile per hour gusts expected, a high of 98 and a low of 68. Friday, we're looking at right now a 20% chance of rain with gusts up to 28 miles per hour, a high of 89 and a low of 63. Saturday weekend looking pretty windy, 34 mile per hour gusts on Saturday with a high of 91, a low of 62. Sunday, 30 mile per hour gusts with not too big a change in the temperature, 94 degrees for the high with 65 for the low. Monday, 24 mile per hour gusts expected, the wind slowly dying down for us as the 7-day forecast ends, 96 for the high, 68 for the low. Next Tuesday, less than 15 mile per hour gusts are expected, so it's going to be a pretty nice day with a high of 105 and a low of 76. And our worst weather in the nation today is Japan for thunderstorms with large hail and high winds.
So I have a question. Now,
Sure.
Next week there's going to be a cloudy day, 20% chance of rain, but
Right.
it's still really hot.
Yes.
So when it comes to the UV index, because you've been telling everybody it's high,
Right.
which means we're going to get burnt, and my niece
Yeah.
did. She's actually here today, but she got fried last weekend.
Absolutely.
Does it affect it, the clouds? Does it help it?
No, not really. I mean, you might see a slight drop in it, but the ultraviolet rays can still pierce through the clouds. So it's you're not really doing yourself any favors. If you're still outside, even if you're under cloud cover, you still want to be wearing sunscreen because you're going to get burned. The UV doesn't need, that pierces right through it because all the clouds really are is condensed
Does the
into
UV
moisture.
index seem to change, with the seasons?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, it does?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You'll notice after the end of the summer, our UV index will start dropping a bit. We'll get down into the 6s, 7s in the fall.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with our range, how close we are to the sun,
Okay.
and what seasons we're in.
Good information. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of News 46. I'm Rick Vale.
And I'm Rhonda Van Winkle.
From everyone up here on the Hill at KPVM, we wish you a safe evening. We'll see you here again tomorrow night. Until then, good night, Pahrump.
Good night.